Let's hope the music's coming out here.
Like, this song grows on you, right?
Yeah. Is there a way to turn the volume down in the headphones?
Yeah. Good?
A little more?
Good?
It's not turning down.
It's not
Mine's
turning
turning
down.
down.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Up just a little bit. A little more. Does that sound okay? Good. It's not turning down. It's not turning down. Oh, okay. There we go. Does that sound okay?
Shit, his mic was on. His mic was on. His mic was on. So it was going out over there. It runs like 30 seconds behind. His mic was on. His mic was on. His mic was on. Why is it picking up my phone out over here? It runs like 30 seconds behind.
I'm good.
Are you muted out? Your volume? Your mic is muted? Okay. Yeah, you're muted. We're all muted right now. I need to know. Your mic is muted? The board's not coming through, man. What the fuck?
I don't think that's the way to start a show.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't think we're getting music here, but you're hearing us when you shouldn't be hearing us. It's Monday night. Someone has a hot mic. We all have hot mics. We don't know why they're hot. And Joe, you're not hearing any music, right? Anybody in the audience? We're not hearing any music. Fuck. We're gonna try to get that fixed. We get a huge show tonight, though.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully it works.
But you're hearing us when you shouldn't be
Nobody's-
hearing us. It's Monday night. Someone has a hot mic.
All right, let's get that was coming from me trying to figure out where the hell the music was coming from here. All right. Now nothing? You're not hearing us?
Can you hear me? Or it's a joke
Yeah,
here.
they can. We can all hear each other here.
I also hear my favorite song in the background. No music.
All right, you hear us talking, but the music's not coming through. Let me see if I can fix this on the fly. Can I fix this on the fly? Let's see. We got, who do we have on the show tonight, June? Let them know while I'm fixing this on the fly here, would you?
Scott Brosius, who may or may not have started the... I don't know. We're going to find out tonight. We got Troy West with TroyWins.com. As usual, our local handicapper killing it for us tonight. Then we got Dave Guingona, our favorite Bay Area representative, coming with all the knowledge from the Bay Area. And then we got Dan Dakich. I got a lot of questions for Dan.
I got a lot of questions for somebody much smarter than us when it comes to
Electronics?
why the heck the audio is giving me these green lights.
My question to you, who was the last player to hold Michael Jordan?
All right. Hold on. Everybody stop. Stop the text messages. Stop everything. I know. I already got it. Okay. Please. I'm not being mean, but I know. We're working on it here. Trying to get through it. All right. There we are. We should see us. We should see us right now. We definitely should see us right now.
Well, hopefully for the fans, they see me. That's always a plus.
You know, last week was so seamless. It's got to be Nick. Nick came in here one night, and now things don't work.
Well, to be fair, I was producing from Atlanta.
Yeah, you were producing from Atlanta.
Yeah, I was
you?
producing a lot of fun in Atlanta.
All right, let's see. Let's see if there we go. Yep, we're on. We're on. We are on.
We are
All
live.
right, cool. Yeah, just our audio doesn't work, so you might have to sing like the Dave Guingona. What's my name?
I've been waiting.
Do. So hey, we got to start with this. All right, let's come right out of the gate with this right here.
Just to be clear, real quick, if I gotta sing, it's Snoop. It's not. That's
what the hell happened? This is like 1980s basketball right here.
No,
man.
But the thing is, it started off with soft play. Like, how are you gonna get to a fight off a soft foul?
Big time brawl now in the
DiVincenzo. I can't say his name.
You got to stay out of the crowd.
He wasn't wrong.
This is not good.
Look, he looked like a fighter there.
This has been building on the last handful of possessions.
What was it? 5 guys? Five or 7 got ejected?
A lot of guys got ejected, yeah.
And the thing is like, I don't see any real physical DiVincenzo. Yes. Trying to say his name. By the end of the show, I'm going to get it right. But I didn't see any hard foul. It looked like softness, and then everybody ganged up on the white boy. That's what I saw.
Yeah, there was a lot of look. And look, I'm going to move on here for a minute. And I know that Yankee Legs is sitting in the studio with us tonight. So you may or may not see him in the chat, but Yankee Legs was here. This is big news. All right,
absolutely.
The Florida Marlins. No, the Miami Marlins. I'm sorry.
In the dirt, gets away.
3 games this weekend.
He's gonna score. 3 wins.
3 walk-offs.
3
walk-off victories.
You can't make this.
Who would have thunked it?
Yeah, you can't make it up.
He just said you can't make this stuff up.
What was bigger this weekend than baseball?
Oh, is that Conine back there?
Yeah, that's Conine back there in the box. What?
I think we know him
because it was Conine. Yeah, he was just here.
We know him.
Conine.
He was a guest. That's right.
And we got a really cool Conine clip that we can show in a little bit here. I'll show it right now while we're doing this, because who knows if we'll ever talk about the Marlins again.
We will
after this weekend, but
sounds like I was wrong. They're gonna win the
Here's a split screen. Jeff and Griffin.
To left field. This is deep. This is back at the wall. Leaping. Did he pull it back?
Incredible job.
Oh my God.
He must have worked that when he was a kid. Griffin.
No way. Yes, he did.
Come on.
Best catch of the year. It might be.
Griffin's better than Jeff's, because Griffin went higher up over the wall.
Man out.
And then this.
Goldschmidt stays put.
Want to talk about
driven deep to left field. He's done it again. See ya. A monster 2-run home run. Can't keep him in the park. 2-1 Yanks.
Home runs this weekend. 9 home runs on Saturday alone. Judge had 3. I'm pretty sure they're cheating. They unveiled the new logo today. Did you see this, the Yankees? Boom. Look at their new bat right there.
So they're using softball bats now?
It reminded me, I wanted to go home and see. My kid used to have one of them big red bats. Remember the big red ones that the little kids play with? And then break that thing out.
They're using the Bam Bam bat. You remember Bam Bam and Flintstones?
Yeah, Bam Bam and Pebbles. Yes, exactly. That's the big red bats. The
Their
big
kid
fat
had
ones
the bat,
right there.
right?
Yes. So great show. And we tonight we can talk to Scott Brosius.
Who's that?
About these torpedo bats, 1998 World Series MVP.
Jesus.
I mean,
we
the
have somebody
list
like
is
that
endless.
on the show?
Yeah. And we got one of our favorite guys, Dave Guingona, sandwiched in between there with Troy West. So we were jam-packed. Tomorrow, let me tell you, and we're going to get to Dan, because Dan's here and Dan's ready to roll. But here, let me give you this week's lineup, not just here, across the network. And then keep asking me, oh, AJ, how's that little podcast going? Yeah, that was 2 years ago, buddy. It was a long time ago now. All right. Dave Guingona, Scott Brosius, we got that. Okay. Tomorrow night, we have D Brown.
Stop it.
The no-look dunk.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, D Brown. So we're going to talk a lot of NBA tomorrow night with him. Tomorrow, Jeff DeForest. And I got to find it here. He's got Lone Kruger at 10 a.m. Special time tomorrow, 10 a.m.
All right.
To talk. Mike, you know Lone Kruger? I'm going to turn your mic on, but you're not going to be on camera yet. All right. You know who that is?
I do not.
All right. Ex-Florida basketball coach. So we're going to come in and break down.
You know, I know the name for sure.
We've got Final Four previews all week long. We got Troy Brown all week long. For those of you that are looking for, and you heard that, hey, Canseco. Yes, Canseco was scheduled to be on tonight.
Yes.
We had to move him to Thursday because apparently this actually did something to his memory. This right here.
High fly ball, right field deep. Canseco back to the track. Look it up. It is off his head, it looked like. And over the top. A home run. That looked like it hit Canseco on the top of the head. We'll have to check the replay. Oh, it did.
Amazing, right? But Jose Canseco Thursday. We've got Garin on the on his NASCAR lap by lap. He's got Daytona 500 winner Ernie Irvin on the show.
That is awesome.
Rob on Wednesday has got Brian Baldinger on the show. And Wednesday night we got the FAU Hockey Club national champions and all sorts of special stuff that night also. But hey, let's get to this. Dan Dakich, longtime college basketball analyst on ESPN, played. Did you know he played for Bobby Knight in Indiana?
Yeah, I have questions about that.
Did you know that he once shut down Michael Jordan?
That is my first question that I just want to know. Go ahead, bring him on.
Yeah.
Come on,
we
man.
don't want to talk about the past. We definitely want to talk about what's going on right now, but
Absolutely.
we'll hit on the past. So we want to welcome Dan to the show. Let me get this set up. And Dan, thanks for joining us and taking a few times out of your schedule. You know it's got to be a busy weekend for you.
Yeah, I'm going to Vegas. Be a great weekend for me. Hell yeah.
Beautiful. There's no better place to do this than in Vegas. And so I got the, and then I'm going to turn it over to Junior because Junior is he's got a pile of stuff for you. But I did get the opening odds here for the Final Four, and Duke is plus 220, Florida plus 275, Auburn plus 500. Seems like you might want to roll a couple bucks on Auburn, in my opinion. And then Houston plus 450. We got Florida at Auburn, Duke and Houston. Man. Go ahead, June.
Yeah, I mean, my question to start off the night was, you were a defensive guy, right? And who do you know that was the last person to hold Jordan to 13 points?
He didn't score 13 against me. He got 9 against me. I mean, he got.
Then the internet is wrong.
You better get your facts straight.
The internet is wrong.
A guest like this.
He scored 9. Okay, so follow-up question. After doing some research, when you heard you were going to have to guard Jordan.
Why don't you just ask me questions? I know the answers to these. So why don't we just do this like, okay, I threw up. All right.
That's what I was going to ask. Did you really?
All right. Yeah, I threw up. I was sick. I was sick all week, and I threw up.
All right. That's okay. But you're a defensive guy. So obviously we know how you feel holding the GOAT to 9 points. But I've been on Houston's bandwagon all year, and I'm still riding it. So as a defensive player, how do you feel about Houston?
I think they're really good. I think that one of the things that they do is they don't make mistakes. Like, they're always in the right position, and the guy is always ready. The next guy is always ready. I worked for Calvin Sampson for a year at Indiana, and one of the things that he always talked about was anticipation. So the guy guarding the ball, that's one thing, but guys are so good with the dribble. If you watch the game on Saturday or you watch the game this coming Saturday, you'll see the second guy is always ready, and that doesn't always happen. A lot of times in college basketball, the defensive guy on the ball is busting his ass, but the help guy isn't ready. He's out of position. He's not in a lane, or he's not paying attention. Sampson's teams are exceptionally good at that. That's why you see guys coming over to take charges, block shots, things like that. I think they're the best defensive team in the country, but I also think Duke is right there with them. Duke is phenomenal, man. Duke, look, Alabama had a great game and then came back, couldn't knock in or couldn't really get good looks against Duke. I think it's a much underrated defensive Final Four because I think both of those teams are fantastic.
No, absolutely. I agree. And I hate to bounce around on this, but Bobby Knight is one of the most controversial coaches ever. You've had 2 experiences with him. You've had to play underneath him, and then you've had coaching with him. Can you describe both?
Well, I love playing for him because he was fair. Like, if you came to practice every day and you busted it, you were going to get a chance. You might not get a chance this game or whatever. And however you played determined your playing time, unless you were Isaiah Thomas or somebody like that back in the day. But he was very fair. Coaching with him, I loved until the last couple of years. He got lazy. He was ridiculous. If you want to know the truth, he was rotten to me, actually, when I went to Indiana, when I went to ESPN, because he wanted my job at doing Big Ten games on Tuesday. He was doing Big 12 games. So one blast to play for, fine to coach with, but one of the most disloyal people that I've ever met in my life.
Wow.
Can you elaborate on that? Like, I mean, I don't
you're
wanna...
either loyal or you're disloyal.
No,
the guy was disloyal.
But
I mean,
if you played for somebody, respected them, and then coached with them for so many years, I mean, you don't know somebody until you know somebody. True. Yes.
I went to ESPN. When I left Indiana, like everybody that's around Coach Knight or someone like that, it's one of those deals where it never ends well. I don't think anybody that ever coached for Coach Knight, it ever ended well, for whatever the reason. And when I went to ESPN, he wanted my job. So he would badmouth me.
Wow.
Stuff. But I knew that was him, and it didn't bother me. I knew who he was. When I coached with him, I really enjoyed it. But as I said, at the end, he didn't want to work at it. We had all kind of recruiting stories of guys that ended up All-American other places. But playing for him, I loved it. I thought it was a great experience. Not a good experience, a great experience. So, when you're with someone, what was that here, 16 years, it is what it is. But it shocked me what he was trying to do at ESPN. And I didn't have respect for him. In our last conversation, I told him that, and that pretty much ended it.
Good for you. Like, I'm glad you could stand up and against somebody like that, because you deserve what you're worth, and definitely you're worth.
All right, I got a current question. All right. So Florida and Alabama. Where did I have this, June? I gave you this. These guys played on February 8th, and they played in Alabama, and Alabama was minus. Not
11.
Alabama, Auburn.
Auburn was minus 11.
Auburn was minus 11 that day. Florida won the game. Fast forward 56 days later, and Auburn's plus 2.5. They're playing basketball in this football stadium, which I would imagine has got to throw off your sort of depth perception of how close a basketball arena is, small, and there's a lot of points that they're predicting in this game. 161. Do you see that this game possibly could be a low-scoring game?
Home thing is it because when it first started, kids really had problems shooting in domes. But over the course of time, some conference tournaments are in domes like that. Let me answer your question. Yes, I don't know about low scoring, but I certainly could see it being, in the 70s, not the 80s, which is obviously what 161 says. Yeah, I mean, in the first game, Florida hit 13 out of 33 threes on the road, which is phenomenal, right? Hostile crowd. I think it may have been when Florida bounced back from maybe Tennessee beating them. I don't know, but the truth of the matter is both teams are playing at a really high level. Both teams are going to get the ball down the floor. Both teams can shoot it. But yeah, to your point, I think domes do affect, particularly in the first half. Like my degenerate buddies always say, "Hey man, what should I bet?" I go, you know what? Take the under first half in a dome. And then, somebody scores 50-50 and then they yell at me, scream at me. But I can see what you're saying. Yeah. But I think both teams got enough offensive firepower. I'm really fascinated by the game because, both teams, like how old is Auburn, right? The average age is 23.2 years. It's older than the Kansas or Oklahoma City. And then you got this coach of Florida who looks like he's 10 years old, looks like he's actually younger than Auburn. So I think it's kind of cool. Two SEC teams. Golden worked for Pearl. I think it's a lot of storylines, but yeah, I could see what you're saying. I'm not saying it's going to be old school, Big Ten, Wisconsin in the 30s, but I could see the first half being, under 70, and certainly the game being under 160. Yeah, I could see that.
Who do you like in this game? At this moment, I know it's early, but at this moment, who do you like?
I have I'm going to take Auburn. I'm not going to bet Auburn yet, but I kind of, and I'll tell you why. Auburn shouldn't have lost any games in this tournament. They've beaten teams, okay, pretty good. Florida should have lost to Texas Tech. Like, you guys, if you coach, there are certain games in your life that, and I mean, when I say never leave you, I mean never leave you. Like, you get woken up at 3 a.m, 20 years from now, and that's what Texas Tech is going to do. They're going to be, put it this way, it crushes your damn soul. Well, Florida should have lost that game. Auburn hasn't had a game like that, so I'm going to take Auburn. But I don't. I think both of these games are freaking great, man. And I don't know what the hell to do with them. I'm going to Vegas for the tournament. I don't know what the hell to do with it. Go look at hot girls in a pool and.
Well, you do that no matter what when you go to Vegas.
They call that Saturday, Dan.
Auburn, I had this, I don't know where I put it down, but Auburn has won by an average of almost 13 points throughout the tournament so far. And they're 3-1 against the spread in the tournament so far. So
one thing I would order though is Jim Boeheim was on my show, and he's like, man, I wouldn't want my paycheck riding on Walter Clayton's couple of threes that he's hit in these games late. But Walter Payton is a bad Walter Payton. What am I thinking of?
Walter Payton was a badass.
Yeah, you're right. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Clayton is a bad mother. If the game is close and he's got the ball and a 3 in the air, I take my odds. And you got to have big stones in the Final Four. You got to have big ones. And he got big ones, as Raph would say. He got onions, man. And I wouldn't that kid, because that's a bad boy right there.
But who's got the coaching advantage in the Final Four?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I think all 4 teams are so well coached. I got to give an answer. I probably say been there, right? I mean, he's, and Sampson's been there, and I'd say both of them, it could just because of experience, but at this time, it used to be you played like 28 games in a season. Guys play a ton of games, man. And then they're with their team all year round, so you know them better. I'm going to say, the 2 older guys because they got more experience. But hell, I tell you what, that Cooper Flagg makes everybody a damn good coach. So,
yeah, it does.
I mean, I don't know, but I'd say the 2 older guys probably, right? I mean, it seems like.
I agree. So if you were to break down both games, what's the advantages in both of them? Because we have a lot of bettors that watch the show. So they want that inside advice. Both games, break them down, please.
I'll give you the best betting tip I found is wait till the game starts and see. Wait till you're watching the game and get a feel. That's all I've done in this tournament. I'm up a ton of cash. All right, let's talk about Duke. So Duke is incredibly underrated defensively, and people want to talk about Houston's defense, and it's great. We already, we talk about,
right.
But Duke gets in your ass. And here's the deal with Duke: they're so long that they can play off of you, and still affect your shot with their length. But by playing off of you, Junior, they can still keep you in front. And when you're watching this game, here's the thing to watch. So Duke will do that on offense against Houston. Houston gets in this defensive stance, and they look great. But if you dribble twice, not just once, because most teams will see a stance, guy will dribble once, pick up the ball, pass it. If you make a hard second dribble at Houston, you can get by their defenders. Now, you got to make a good play because I talked already about the help coming.
Right.
That's something to watch early if you're going to bet it and you're going to try to live bet it. Watch who keeps the ball in front of them better, because Duke does it different. They do it giving you space, keeping your length up and Houston tries to pressure you, but I'm telling you, Houston's defense on the ball is a little bit of a fraud. Ultimately, I think Duke's going to win the game. I think they'll cover because they'll score it here. But I always preface every game with this: unless somebody goes absolutely idiotic from the 3-point line like Alabama did, somebody goes nuts on the 3-point line, all bets are off. In the other game, I got to tell you, I wonder about Broom's injury because a lot get hurt, you can keep playing, and then you go and you rest, and next thing you know, it hurts and all that.
Well, I got a question though on that. Insider information. How do you go to the locker room and then come back out and play? Like, what's the process in between?
You go in there, there's a doctor and a trainer. The doctor he will look at it and say, okay, it's not broken. The trainer will then look at it and say, do I need to do any therapy, treatment, whatever? And then if the answer is, nah, it ain't broken, nah, I ain't got no therapy, get your ass out there and let's go. And if you listen to Pearl didn't even ask the kid what was injured. He goes, hey, man, can you go? Yep, go. And
old school. That's old school.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. The doctor will, anymore, doctor will say, no, you can't play. But doctor's got to clear you that there's no injury. And then the trainer looks to treat whatever, somebody gets caught or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And if it's all good, you go in there and you knock in a 3 like Broom did. It was pretty good.
Yeah, he looked good too doing it. I ain't gonna lie.
Can any of these college kids fight the doctor? If the doctor says no, can the kids override him and say, no, you're not stopping me, I'm going in?
Great question. I'm going to tell you what. Most important thing you can do as a coach is get a trainer and a weight coach and a doctor. Because what happens now is, and I got a little bit of trouble when I was at ESPN because I said this. I go, the worst thing for a coach is a student effing trainer. Because a student effing trainer, sometimes my wife was a longtime softball coach at Syracuse, and she'd get these little girl and little boy student trainers who were scared to death. So a guy would get, hit by a pitch, or a girl would get hit by he can't play. He might have a concussion. And she's like, shut the hell up. Wow. The answer is no, but there is nothing worse than the student and I got trainers all over the country yelling at me. We work so hard. Hey, I don't care if you work hard. Everybody works hard. Shut up. But they're just covering their ass. I'm telling you, you will never see on a big-time program a trainer that isn't a veteran that doesn't know their way around it, because you make one call as a trainer that goes against a guy that at a major program and he couldn't play, and it cost him trainer's ass out of there too. So no, long answer. No.
Okay. All right. I don't see certain players being stopped by any trainer no matter what. But that's on a pro level anyway.
They are. It's a cover your ass world. What happened in college, athletic directors started getting fired for the actions of coaches. And once that happened, athletic directors started saying, wait a second, we're going to listen to the damn trainer, or we're going to listen to whatever. So, yeah, if that doctor had said, you're not going in, he wasn't going, and he told Pearl, he goes, you're not putting him in, and he wasn't putting him in.
No.
That's awesome. All right, so I hate to ask the next question, but break down the other game for us, because you're providing jewels right now, sir.
One of the things that I'm going to watch in this game is loose balls. Like, both teams are big. Both teams have good guards. Both teams are, how old is freaking Auburn, right? Average age 23 and a half or whatever.
Right.
Intimidate them? No. But one thing I noticed about both of these teams in their games, early in the game, Florida didn't do shit. They didn't get after a loose ball. They were a step slow. And then desperation came and, the fouling and all that. But if they don't go after loose balls, if they don't hold on to rebounds, pay attention. Auburn is one of the great teams that we're in a crowd, and the three of us are in here. They figure out how to jostle the ball loose and go get it. I'm telling you, Auburn beat Michigan State to so many basketballs and got so many extra possessions. Their offense is the same. If Broom plays well, the guards play well. But one of the things that you got to watch with Auburn is all the broken plays. Like they say in football, right? Offense, defense, special teams. Well, in basketball, it's kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Offense, transition, and special teams goes with that. What's special teams? Offensive rebounding, loose balls, because loose balls become easy step-in threes. So that's what I'm watching. I got to tell you, I think it's an even game unless, again, somebody goes stupid. I love the bigs at Florida. No, if you don't love the guards at Florida, then you don't love life. I love bigs play for Auburn. Their guards are like Bruce's guards, quick, fast, can shoot past it. One thing I would also watch, if I'm Florida, I'm watching the last 4 to 5 minutes of the Auburn game. Who they just beat to go to the final? Michigan State.
Yes.
Michigan State started pressuring Auburn, and Auburn fumbled. I was going to swear. Fumble effed around with the ball, almost lost the ball, couldn't dribble. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if Florida at some point in the game says, screw this, we're going to pick up full court, and we're going to go based on the last 3 or 4 minutes of that Michigan State game. Well, you know, I was talking to a Division I head coach that's been to a 3 or 4 Sweet 16s. He goes, I'm promising you, Coach Golden's going to see the last 3 minutes. Don't be surprised if there's a lot of full court pickup because Auburn did not handle the basketball worth a damn. Loose balls, all the in-between stuff, because both teams run kind of the same offense with really good players at all positions. See who gets the loose ball and see if Auburn can be pressured into losing possessions via turnover.
I love it. I completely agree. So I have one.
Damn, was that right there? Sheesh.
I'm liking Auburn more and more at plus 500 right
I have
here.
a crazy question I want to ask him. Like, I feel like,
yeah.
Do you have a piece of favorite memorabilia around you right now? Because I know you have to have good memorabilia.
I have a ball signed by Michael Jordan that says, "Hey, Dakich, anytime, any place."
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Did you tell him you held him to 9 points?
Not only did I tell him, I beat him out of $6,000 that summer playing golf. True story. On the day.
Now, that doesn't surprise us. The 9 points, that is an accomplishment.
Yeah, no, I love it. So he won at golf.
I beat his ass, and he was there for we were the same age. And back in 1984, the Olympic trials were in Bloomington, and my teammate Steve Alford made the team. And in the summer, they would practice. So one day I was at the IU golf course, and Steve and Jordan and Timmy Knight, Coach Knight's son, came out, and I joined them. It was the day Jordan said, I don't know if it's true or not, he said he signed his Nike deal. We're on the 5th hole. We're betting a little bit, and I knew I was pretty good. And I knew he was going to get his ass whooped because he was just learning to play. So we're on the 5th tee. I'll never forget. He goes, "Hey, Danny." Yeah, he goes, "You want to bet a lot?" I said, "I'll bet you whatever you got." I knew I whipped your ass. So that pissed him off. We started playing. It got dark on it was the 16th hole, and started putting ball in bunker, doubling nothing, $100. I say, "Man, let's just round it to $6,000. And true story, we went to Wendy's after. We're sitting there, and he had to go back to the student union. He had a big poker game that night with, I don't know, other dudes on the Olympic team. And he said, "Hey, man, come by tomorrow practice. I'll hook you up." So I show up because I'd go to practice every day, and he tried to hand me this bag full of shit that they got for free, like plain pocket jeans. Hell, AJ, you probably remember plain pocket jeans, Polaroid cameras.
Mm-hmm. Spit the picture right out. Yeah.
Show me, man, brother. Like, what are you doing? And anyway, we've met each other twice since then, and he always brings it up. But yeah, he's my bitch, if you want to know the truth.
I love it. Now, that's got to be the most memorable piece, the best piece of memorabilia is the Polaroid camera. If we could see the camera, forget about it. You should have snapped a picture of Jordan right there and say, "You tight ass, give me that money."
Hey.
Right. Like, I should have taken the Converse shoes, had him sign it, right? He's a Nike guy. The Olympics had I'm stupid.
And you guys went to Wendy's. He was the face of McDonald's for years, too. I mean, and he was probably drinking Powerade.
Right. Be like Mike, Powerade.
Oh, so where are you staying in Vegas? You staying in one of the good places, or you at the Excalibur, the Luxor?
My nephew is a agent with CAA, and he got us. I've never been there. I don't even know if it's any good. The Fontainebleau. He said it's a great hotel. We got a great rate. We're playing golf on Friday, 36 on Saturday, and then Sunday, and then flying home. So I said 20 guys go. My brother, myself, tell my son and his son, get your buddies. I'll get our buddies. We're gonna play, drink, gamble.
Should be good. If it's Fontainebleau brand that we have down here in South Florida, it'll be good.
It's beautiful. I went to the Michael Irving Super Bowl party there last year, and it's a beautiful hotel. I mean, it's nice. You lost sound for a minute. What was that?
Are you talking about the Fontainebleau in Vegas? Was a good place?
Yeah, in Vegas. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In fact, Junior, you must have you must have all kind of money, because I'm looking at the Fontainebleau, and I was just doing a little research, just hanging out. Man, it's like there's some show there at the beach. It's $1,500 minimum for a table.
Yes.
And the other one was $4,000. Ain't no hell.
I gotta be honest. I hear about it from friends. I've never been. I hear about it.
His wife doesn't let him leave the neighborhood here, so he's not going out there.
My wife, get your ass out of here, and if you need to stay 4 extra days, do that.
Dan, we appreciate you jumping on with us tonight. We wish you all the best in Vegas. And,
love you, Dan.
And we hope you come back.
Hey, I'm just glad you didn't come with the bullshit that people do. There's only 2 people that stop Michael Jordan, Dan Dakich and Dean Smith. Bullshit. I kicked his ass. Dean Smith didn't guard nobody. We kicked their ass.
We don't bring the bullshit. We bring what the fans want to hear. And the fans wanted to hear you tonight, and that's why you're here and we're doing this thing.
I love it. Dan, have a great trip in Vegas. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, Dan.
All right, have a great night. And we're gonna try to see if some sound comes out here. Let me see if I can make this work. But how awesome was that?
Man, Dan was amazing.
Yeah,
Dan was amazing.
No idea what's going on with this
audio. Kick the shit out of Jordan. Here. Jordan, you ain't got shit.
He did. He absolutely did. Did you catch the rain delay? We didn't do this, right? Did you catch the rain delay at Mike? Did you catch this? Let me. You were mic'd up the whole time, Mike. You could have jumped in there. And,
I know. I
just didn't have you on camera. Did you? How White Sox is this rain delay right here? Look at that. That looked like the high school team that I played for. I feel
like everybody who was tailgating before the game, they said, "Can everybody bring your canopies inside so we can lay them on the field so it doesn't get damaged?"
Now I get that it's raining, but if you look high up in the stands too, you can literally count those fans with a couple of hands here.
That looks like a Marlins game.
What an absolute goof. So hey, since we really can't, and I don't have any, so here's what we got coming up. All right, we're not even close to done. Dan was absolutely awesome. Thank you, Chris. Great,
phenomenal,
great job once again by Chris.
I love Dan on again for sure.
I want to hit some soccer because we did some soccer, but coming up, this will work as a semi-commercial break right here. Here's the highlights of Scott Brosius's 1998.
High praise for a team that won 114 games. Into left center field, and Finley makes a nice play to cut it off. Brosius testing him. He is out to end the 4th inning. Base is empty, 1 out, and Gomez, a check swing grounded to Brosius. The bare hand pickup. Brosius a base hit. It's 3-0 Yankees. Scott Brosius knocks in his 10th run of this postseason. That's before Game 4 in San Diego as Brosius lines a base hit into left. The bottom of the order doing damage for the Yankees. Brosius 2 for 2.
Yeah.
To the left side and through. Past Caminetti and Brosius
The
is
most
3 for 3.
amazing thing about this is look how bad the video was in 1998. And we remember we just thought that, wow, we got quality.
Whoever hung it on. Brosius lines a drive into left center field. Over to cut it off is Vaughn, moving around pretty well in left field.
World Series
And
MVP,
Scott
correct?
Brosius has the
Yeah,
Yankees'
1998
second
World
hit.
Series MVP.
That
Absolutely.
is half
Through to Ford, and it's ripped into deep left center field. At the track at the wall.
And
It's
then not
gone.
only that, you
The
win
3-2
the biggest
fastball.
cup
Brosius
there
knew
is
it,
winning
and
in
he
the
goes
sport.
deep to
And
make it
you're
a
the
2-run
MVP.
game. It's 3-1.
Jesus Christ.
The biggest baseball franchise, right?
The biggest.
Well, you always hear it.
Seriously.
That's
And you know, the
preferable to
rivalry,
a
and you'll
leadoff
ask
walk.
me, but I
Here, hit
think
it,
the
and
series
Brosius
that they were focused on the
knew what was
most
coming.
in
Now
this
the 2-2 to
postseason
Brosius.
was the American League Championship
Into
Series,
center
because they
field,
played
well
Cleveland.
hit. Finley
And if you go back to
at the track.
97, Cleveland's the team that knocked them out.
Run
So they
for
could have,
Brosius.
Cleveland stopped their run of a possible 5 in a row. And who stepped in 97 to make sure Cleveland didn't do that? Jeff Conine, Florida Marlins, baby. Wow, you remember that. Jeff Conine, Florida Marlins. All right, so let's go to somebody who's a current MVP, all right? Now, I'm hearing a rumor. I didn't see
All
the
right,
exact
Steve, thank you.
statistics
And
yet,
back to
but
thanks to Mark
9
McGuire as Caminetti
and
bounces
1.
it off the plate. High hop for Brosius.
No, I'm
Good
sorry,
play,
12 and
one
1
away.
this weekend. I know he's the money man. I got special music lines up here tonight, and we got no music. Our music's not working.
That song for him?
Did you rap? No, not tonight. Not tonight for the rap song.
The starter of
No, don't do it. Don't do it. We're gonna bring in Troy West, the great Troy West. Troy wins. How you
My
doing,
man.
buddy? Good weekend, huh?
Yeah, we talked about the start of the tournament. There'd be a lot of chalk, a lot of favorites.
You
know,
did say
the
chalk, and we
discrepancy-
got nothing but chalk left.
Nothing but chalk, man. I mean, holy crap, the favorites has just dominated this tournament. The discrepancy between the 1 seeds and the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s has been dramatic, as we've seen. We almost saw Texas Tech get in there. They should have gotten in there. But in the end, we got all 4 1 seeds, and we kind of expected it. And I think even kind of the public fan kind of thought we'd get 4 1 seeds, and here we are.
Overall, I just come right out. Can you lend me some money? Because you had a really good weekend, man. I mean, you had a really good weekend. I mean, I haven't beat around the bush.
Troy,
you
we need money,
did well.
Troy.
Yeah, if you guys need money, true loans are high interest, but I trust you guys enough to toss
Awesome.
you some
We
money.
got it.
No,
right
it was
now. We're good.
it was a good weekend. You got to have some luck involved, right? I mean, Auburn making the comeback like they did against Michigan, and then they looked dynamite against Michigan State. Florida making the comeback against Texas Tech. If you had them on the money line, you got kind of lucky there. And then Duke's just been, we talked about it for the last 3 weeks. They've been an absolute covering machine all year long, and they continue to cover in this tournament. We talked about at the start, this is the number 1 Ken Palm team entering the tournament, higher than UConn last year, and they've proven it every which way so far. I'm really looking forward to that game Saturday, though.
So let me ask you though, okay, because where we're at right now, Final Four, who is playing their basketball the most to win it all?
Great question. I would say it's Houston and Duke. Duke first, and then Houston's right there.
I wouldn't agree
Florida
with
and
that.
Auburn's an interesting one because neither of those. Auburn did look much better against Michigan State, but Florida hasn't put together their A+ game.
Right.
I don't think Auburn's put together their A+ game. I do think Duke did against Alabama. I mean, you don't beat Alabama by 20 points without bringing your A game. But Houston, they looked outstanding again as well, just demolishing a good Tennessee team. So, I mean, the fans got what they wanted. I mean, this Final Four is going to be as good as it gets. This is going to be must-watch TV on Saturday, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Going back to Houston, and I'm sorry because I've been on that bandwagon. You know that.
Yes.
Defensively, what they did in the Elite Eight, if they can carry that on, how is their chances?
They have a good chance. I mean, they really do. I mean, I don't think Duke has seen a defense like Houston. I mean, Alabama, their Achilles heel every year is they just don't play any defense. They're going to try to outshoot you, and they couldn't outshoot Duke. I mean, they put up 113, the night before against BYU. They were not going to do that against Duke. So I think, the Houston, that's just a different team. They're well coached. They've got a veteran coach in Sampson. I don't think Nate Oates was up for the task against Shire. Sampson's got several years on Shire, right? And he's got a week to prepare for this Duke team. So, you're getting 4.5 with Houston. That's an interesting line. I do think, boy, it's just, how do you bet against Duke right now? That's the hard part. How do you bet against them?
I mean, like, going for Houston the whole time in the tournament, like seeing them line up against Duke right now, that's scary. It's scary. I honestly, I'm going Houston, but I won't bet that game.
All right,
yeah, I agree. It's oh gosh, it's like I said, I think it's one of those ones you pop a bag of popcorn and you sit back and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
So Troy, people want to make money in this Final Four, and there's people that because people root the underdogs, so they bet the underdogs because everybody hates the favorites. Here's the lines as of a little while ago. Duke is plus 200. Got Florida plus 275. Auburn plus 500. Houston plus 450. Can I make some money with Auburn or Houston?
Gosh, it's funny. It's funny you say that. I've been kind of looking into all this, and if you wanted to take a flyer and a long shot, I actually do think it's Auburn. This was, Auburn was the #1 overall seed entering this tournament. Again, they haven't put together their A+ game, and they're still beating teams handedly. They beat a good Michigan team by 13. They beat a really, really good, well-coached Tom Izzo team. They ended up winning that game by 6 or 7. But they could have won that game by 15-20. I mean, they just dominated that game all the way through. They do have the question mark and the injury. I do think he'll end up being okay for the weekend. If I had to just kind of take a long shot right now, I'd probably go Auburn plus 500. You're getting 2.5 points against Florida, and Florida has struggled all tournament. They really have, and they just keep winning and winning and winning. I mean, Texas Tech, you could say maybe gifted them that game. But if I'm looking at a long shot, I'm probably taking Auburn.
Are they getting a little bit disrespected or flying under the radar because they're 3-1 against the spread in the tournament? Their average win point spread is 12.7 points. I mean, they're not. Maybe they're not having a problem. You're saying they didn't play their best basketball yet, so maybe now's the time to peak.
I agree.
I would agree. I mean, you watched them in that second half. I got to be honest with you guys. I've never had this happen. I'm sitting at a watch party watching them on Friday night against Michigan, and I've got Auburn laying 8, and they were down by 10 points in the second half, and I ended up leaving the casino. I was so pissed. I ended up leaving, left the watch party, and I'm getting text messages, come back, come back, come back. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going back. And it was the 20-2 run. I mean, if they play like that in the second half that they did against Michigan, and they play like they did against Michigan State, where they carried over that momentum, that's a tough out. Bruce Pearl's got that team playing well. They've got 5 guys that can shoot the 3. They've got the bangers down low to hang with anybody. Man, I mean, at plus 500 to win 2 games, it's hard not to like that.
All right, look, we're going to be talking about this all week long. So let me shift gears, if you're okay with that for a minute.
Absolutely.
Let's go over to the MLB, because we were all in on MLB this weekend also, right?
Absolutely.
Are the Dodgers a lock to win it all, to break the record? Where are you at on the Dodgers?
I think a lock to break the record, yes. I do think they're a lock to break the record. I mean, the fact that, the Tigers could have won all 3 of those games. I mean, literally, the Tigers were up in all those games and just could not finish them off. They've got so many ways to beat you. The starting pitching's so good. Mookie Betts, everybody thought that he was coming into the season sick, lost all this weight. He looks just fine. The pitching staff's been outstanding. I have a hard time thinking they're not going to win 116. With that being said, baseball's funny in the playoffs, as you know. You get into these 7-game series, the bats go cold for a few games. There's some good teams in the NL. The Braves are tough. The Phillies are tough. The Padres are off to a good start. There are teams out there that I think can beat them in the playoffs. But I think winning 116 games is definitely on the table for them.
Will the Marlins go undefeated this year? Is that a good bet? Whatever, I get a good line on that. I mean, 3 wins, 3 walk-offs.
Yeah, we in this.
They are scoring runs too. I was shocked, and I know I sent you that catch by Conine Arguably the play of the year so far. That was awesome to see. That's a good Marlins team. I mean, they're young. I don't want to say they're a good Marlins team, but you get some of these young guys that can get hot. These are still big league players, right? They're still big league players. So hard not to hard. I don't think they're going to go to the playoffs or anything like that, but they're off to a good start. It's fun to watch Sandy Alcantara pitch. They've got a few other guys that can pitch, and they got some young guys trying to make a name for themselves.
Can I show you something cool? We showed this at the beginning of the show, but you were talking about the catch. Take a look at this video real quick.
Fly ball in the air to left field. This is deep. This is back at
Father
the wall. Leaping! Did he pull it back? Yeah! Wow! Griffin!
Basically the same catch. How wild is that?
Incredible. That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, fun team to watch right now. There's no doubt about it.
Yankees, torpedo bats. How did you catch any of Saturday's game? They hit 15 home runs over the weekend, 9 on Saturday.
I saw every bit of it. I just read a great tweet that said back in the day, they used steroids, not torpedo bats, right? Real men use steroids, not torpedo bats.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, it's incredible. But I did hear today. It's interesting. Aaron Judge is not using it. I believe I got to see, but I don't think Stanton's using it either. So it's kind of interesting to see which players are using it.
Well, Stanton's not using the bat at all, though.
But
true.
He used it last year, though.
Who?
Stanton.
No, the torpedo bat is new. They just did it this spring.
No, he tried it out. He tried it out last year.
Okay.
Yeah. I think him and Volpe or whatever might have tried it out. But yeah, I did hear that Judge. It'll be interesting to see if it was an anomaly. They're talking, my Seattle Mariners out here can't hit the broad side of a barn. So they're talking about bringing the torpedo bats in. I'd be really curious the science behind it, but you've got an organization as good as the Yankees. They hit every single year. That's never an issue for them. But I'm curious if other teams start to adapt this trend. I'll be curious in July how many teams, how many players are using this bat.
I think the Phillies had him today because late in the game, they went deep.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be. I don't know. Is it a new trend? I'm not sure. But they're obviously off to the hot start, putting up 9 home runs in a game, 15 on the season. Incredible.
Yeah, no, they were fun to watch this weekend. That's 100% for sure.
Well, and it's amazing. You look at Garrett Cole out for the year. They've been banged up in the lineup, guys all over the place, and they're just off to a hot start. Give a lot of credit to Aaron Boone. I get he hasn't won the big game yet for him, but the Yankees have been competitive. They're off to a great start, and without a doubt, the favorite to win the AL right now.
You got anything for the people out there tonight? One that you want to give away? If you don't, you don't. If they haven't gone to TroyWins.com yet, what the hell are you waiting for? 12-1, right?
12-1 run. It's all documented. The long-term run's even better. I'm not joking you. And guys, I've been doing this a long time. I'm very honest, very transparent. It's one of the better runs I've been on part of it. Call it luck, call it whatever you want. You got to ride the roller coaster. We've been on fire as of late. Yeah, I'll give you one tonight. I'm going to give you an underdog. The Detroit Tigers are on the road. They take on my beloved Seattle Mariners. Job is on the bump tonight. This guy, mark this down, AJ. This guy is one of the best young prospects to come up in years. Jackson Job. He makes his debut tonight against a really bad Mariner lineup. The Tigers are 0-3, but that's a really good Detroit team that made the playoffs last year. Took the Dodgers to the wire, 3 straight games. They came out 0-3. They'll be hungry tonight. They take on Emerson Hancock, the Mariners' number 6 starter. Give me the Tigers. You're getting plus 120 money on that. I like the Tigers tonight.
Fantastic. And tell everybody where to go, how to win, and where to find you.
Yeah, they can get to the Instagram. It's Troy West. If you DM me or comment free, we'll give you that link for a free week. That gets you everything. 7 plays, absolutely free. 7 days, absolutely free. Or go to the website, TroyWins.com. It's all over. We're giving people 7 days free. We want people to see what this is about. We truly believe we're a one-stop shop. We cover everything. Hockey, NBA, props, you name it. We cover it. That's TroyWins.com.
Awesome. So you're going to be back all week with us.
All week. Let's do it.
Talking Final Four, talking baseball, talking what was the golf tournament? The Champions this weekend's coming up.
We
right?
got the Masters next week.
Yeah, okay.
I can't wait for that. We got Masters next week. I can't remember if I think we still got something smaller this week, but we'll definitely be getting on the Masters next week. Absolutely.
All right. And are you dabbling in MLS at all?
You know, I like to here and there.
You got a good team up there.
Yeah, the Sounders are a great soccer organization. They've been good and been relevant every year.
They won last
started
night.
To dabble into it a little bit. Started to dabble in. Well, your boy Messi had a goal over the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah. You want to look? I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it. So let's get to it now before you get out of here. So me and Nick the Flick, we decided not to take credentials this weekend. We had 2 photographers. We had our other Nick up in the press box. Me and Nick went as fans, and so Messi, of course, everybody was down in the first half because Messi did not come out, but he was probable for the second half. He subbed on at the 55th minute, and this happened in the 57th minute. That was our shot of it, but here's the Apple shot. And I mean, Messi is just, and it's in Spanish, so the volume's turned down a little bit here, but
Spanish is better. I love it.
Oh, it's so much more exciting in Spanish. Everything's more exciting in Spanish. Now, Messi gets on this guy one-on-one, and you know that this guy's just crapping his pants right here, and Messi made him look serious.
Good.
Yeah,
so
it
good.
is. Have you been out?
Are they selling out? We were talking about it today.
Yeah.
Are they selling out every game?
Yeah, it's jam-packed. It's jam-packed.
We were talking about it today because we would love to go see him play in Seattle, but I don't think he doesn't make a lot of West Coast trips, right?
I don't know. It depends. It depends. He does. He has to because he is the MLS at this point.
Yeah. I didn't know if he was kind of a prop where he just kind of picks and chooses when he plays. You know,
well, they're going to play the Galaxy, I believe, this week in the CONCACAF Champions Cup thing that's going on. And so they got to go to LA for this game. So let's see if he travels for it.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to keep an eye. I don't see. Looking at the Sounders schedule right now, I don't know if I gotta see if they got Miami on that. Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah, no,
not until September 16th, but that'll be good.
Maybe that's a good time for me to come out there and do that.
That would be fun.
Better than that, if you come here and do it with us, because
that is 100% going to happen by the end of the year. You got my word.
You just have to learn how to speak Spanish because I'm the only one there who doesn't speak Spanish.
I will make that. And yes, you should look into that coming out here. We get you a studio. We'll get you out to the Sounders Miami game. We'll get you to some Mariner games. It's a great time. September is arguably the best month to get out here. No doubt.
Awesome. All right, Troy. So we will see you tomorrow night, right around this same time. And everybody sit tight. I'm going to try to take a quick break and play some music here, which I think will work. But my mic is going to be hot. June, you hearing me? All right. So when we come back, Dave Guingona is joining us. Okay. So everybody sit tight. We'll be back momentarily. Troy, thanks so much, man. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Enjoy the evening. Good night, guys.
All right. And let's do this. And then let's do this. And then let's do this right here.
From the depths of the sea, back to the block, Snoop Doggy Dogg, Monkey at the dot. Went solo on that ass, but it's still the same. Long Beach is the spot where I serve McCain. Follow me, but don't lose your grip. 9 trizzies, they just there for me to fuck up shit. So I ain't holding nothing back, and motherfucker, I got 5 on the 20 sack. It's like that, and as a matter of fact, cause I never hesitate to put a nigga on his back.
Yeah, so keep out the manuscript. Consider this a must we drop gangsta.
What's my motherfucking name?
Yeah.
It's the bounce of the wild, creeping and crawling, Yiggy yes yo, and Snoop Doggy Dogg in the motherfucking house like every day. Dropping shit with my nigga Mr. Dr. Dre. Like I said, niggas can't fuck with this. and niggas can't fuck with that shit that I drop, cause you know it don't stop. Mr. 187 on the motherfucking top. Tick tock, now with a Glock, just some nuts in the cop. Robbing motherfuckers, then I kill them blood cops, and I step through the fog and I creep through the small, cause I'm Snoop Doggy, 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 oh. Throw your hands in the motherfucking air and wave the motherfuckers like you just don't care. Yeah, roll up the dank and pour the drink.
Why?
June,
Junior's on the back.
We need the PG version of this song.
I know. I put the wrong one on. I apologize.
That is quite all right. So, our next guest is one of our favorites. Joined us, I guess, about 2 months ago for the first time. And June, I got to get you over too.
It's been too long.
It is Dave Guingona from. Let me get this. Let me get this right. He's
Our
from,
guy Dave.
There he is. And crap. Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and say it. My favorite Bay Area reporter. If I need to know something about sports, I'm coming to you, Dave. I'm gonna wait on AJ for his intro, though.
Yeah. Dave, welcome back to the show. How you doing? Are you muted out? We can't hear you on. Muted out on your side. Oh no! Now we got a Dave sound issue.
We were so good, Dave, earlier.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting nothing, Dave. Let me go like that. Let me go like that, and then like this, and let's see. How about now? No, nothing. What is going on here? Let me try. Let me try something. I may literally just throw us off the entire show, but let me go like this.
If we leave, we will come. We got this, Dave.
How about now? How about now, Dave? Nothing. All right. Let me change it this way. Extra minute. All right. I'm trying to.
If you got subtitles,
I'm trying to. No, there is some HD. We're having some kind of issue right here. And Requester Pro main, man. We have them on. We tested. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
And I think the issue's on our side, Dave. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened between then and now. And there was so much that I want to ask you about. Golden State. They're, gosh, what am I going to do? I'm going to talk and he can't talk back. So what is the...
Maybe he signs out, sign back in or something? Try?
I don't know.
Oh, you signed it for us, Dave?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Something is... This is live, guys. So this is what happens sometimes when you do a live show.
Yes.
Hang on, Dave. Let me see if I can hook the phone up to the board. And if I hook the phone up to the board, then you can call in. Just let me...
And you're not getting this anywhere else. This is live, baby. This is what happens. It's no big deal. We just give it to you real.
Yeah, let me see if I can do this with Bluetooth onto. Oh, it's giving me multiple. Let's see. And so, Mike, while we're trying to work this out, Mike, you went to the actual game yesterday, right? The Marlins game.
There.
How great was the game?
I've been going to games since '93, and that was probably one of the best games I've been to.
So let me ask you a question.
Hold on. Hey, Dave, you want to try to call in? You have the number. You want to try to call in and let's see if we can get you on that way? Will that work? Same number. And hopefully it connects.
What brought you down? Because you don't live in South Florida anymore, but you're a huge Marlins fan.
Huge. I was born and raised down here, but I no longer live here. I live in Pennsylvania, and I was planning on coming down to go to the Keys for the weekend.
Right.
But when I saw Conan was getting inducted into the Ring of Honor, first one, well-deserved, I called up the wife and said, we got to change plans.
All right, here we go. We got Dave. I think we got Dave via phone. You hear me, Dave? Son of a gun. All right, stay right there, Dave. Let me see. Audio. We should be good.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay, but here's what we got to do. I got to get you off the screen to get rid of the echo.
Okay.
And is the echo gone?
No.
Son of a motherless. No, it's not gonna happen, Dave. I'm sorry. I don't know what went wrong since pre-check to now. It's an extreme echo.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh. All right, Dave. I'm sorry. I'm going to call you tomorrow, and I'm going to apologize, and maybe we can get it rescheduled then. I'm sorry, Dave.
Okay. We'll figure this out.
Appreciate you taking the time. Man, this absolutely positively sucks tonight.
Yeah, but it is.
I mean, the content is great. The show was fabulous.
Not only that, we got Yankee Legs in the studio.
Yeah, but Dave is literally our favorite guest.
Yeah, but Dave is he's willing to come back when we get it right.
Yeah,
so it's okay.
He is, but we tested this thing, and I don't know what the problem is. I know what the solution is. The solution's a fucking sledgehammer is the solution to everything in the studio.
Normally AJ mentality is sledgehammer, but tonight we're gonna defer to Yankee Legs.
All right, so give us the vibe down there in Miami for the Konine bobble. Did you brought the bobblehead, right? You have the Konine bobblehead. Let's take a look.
Yeah. I brought it. I made sure I was there super early to make sure I got one.
And they inducted Jeff into the Ring of Honor? Is that what we're calling it? Okay.
Yep. And they did the ceremony before the game. They introduced him. They showed a ton of his highlights, which he has a ton of. Then they brought him on, and it was great, man. It was it gave me goosebumps. So,
really? What was the crowd like? Was it a sellout crowd? Was it halfway full? If it's halfway full, it's a sellout crowd in Miami.
It was more than halfway.
Wow.
However,
yeah,
when the induction ceremony was going on, they hadn't filled up yet. And I looked around the stadium and I just kept thinking, Konine deserves more than this. Like,
absolutely.
There should be like people standing trying to see this, but it was a decent crowd. His speech was great. I've been to Marino's his halftime speech when he retired, and now I've been to Konine's Ring of Honor speech, and I cried when Marino gave his speech, but I had goosebumps when Konine gave his speech. It was really good.
And that's coming from a true fan, people.
True. I mean, I've been a fan since '93. I've loved baseball my whole life. And as soon as South Florida got a team, I was all over it.
So who's your favorite Marlin ever?
It's got to be Konine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did it feel to watch this kid hit a homer?
I will tell you.
On his bobblehead.
I almost missed it. All right. So I had to take a potty break. Me and the wife went up to the bathroom. And
you got to turn your camera back on, buddy, because we lost your camera.
It died.
It died. All right. So you're going to have to give me the bobblehead so I can show it here. It's just it's that night, guys. It's a Monday night.
So I was up there.
This is different.
Yeah, it's really cool, right?
Yeah, this is very cool.
Put it on camera.
I will. And the Marlins, one of the things they have at this stadium is they have a bobblehead sort of museum, they call it.
They do. I didn't get a chance to see it this time.
You've been there before, though, right? It's just like a little tchotchke stand that you would have in the mall, but they got lots and lots and lots of bobbleheads. This thing is, hold this up. This is
Jeez, look at
this
that.
is extremely cool. I've never and in the back of this thing,
it's like a baseball card.
It is like a baseball card. You got his career stats. Hang on, buddy. I'm reading it.
I'm excited right now.
I'm reading it. So you got his career stats, his number, you got his and they put him in the teal helmet, which he did not like when he was a player, but it's kind of grown on him, the teal helmet. You're wearing the teal helmet there tonight.
Teal is my favorite.
Is there a bat that goes with this that you stick it in his? Okay, you stick it in his hand there.
Stick it in his hand, and you have to take Jeff out to put it in. I just haven't put it together yet.
Oh, yeah, some assembly required.
My next question.
And this thing is heavy duty too.
Yes.
This is nice. And what are these going for on eBay right now? Have you checked already?
Yes, I checked early this morning. I checked. They're going for about $50 a pop.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
And they got everybody that went to the game yesterday got one of these. Or was like one of like the first 10,000 or something.
It looked like everybody got one, so they had plenty for everybody. Well,
Well, you didn't go to the game. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
you
know,
were
but
supposed to go, and you didn't go. You're
I
supposed to go to the Inter-Miami game Saturday. You don't show up. Me and Nick the Flick, best time of our
was
lives.
out of town.
Mike goes. He's crying in the stands because of Jeff Conine.
I was out of town.
Yeah, but you were back.
My
yesterday.
question is, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot.
Yeah. Well, let me get back to Griffin.
Yeah, go ahead. That's
So I'm up in the stand, up in by the food courts and everything, and I come out of the bathroom, walk towards the little bar area so I can see the field, waiting for my wife, and the crowd just erupts. And you heard the hit, and I got there just in time to see him hit and knock it over, and it was that there was louder than when we even won. The crowd went insane when Conine hit a home run.
See?
I think everybody was wanting that to happen, and it did, and they just erupted.
Oh man, it's a feel good story. Is what it is.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they hit a home run on your dad's
bobblehead day.
Yeah, bobblehead day and the Ring of Honor day.
That's huge.
How many people are in the Marlins Ring of Honor? Is he the first one?
He's the first one being inducted. There's going to be 4.
All right, who else is going on? Levon, and then they're going to do the 2 coaches, McKeon
and
Leland.
Leland,
Okay.
yes.
But there's so many other players.
Yeah, but you got to start small, and those 4 are legends, you know.
Yeah, who
I
goes?
can think of a lot of other legends. Like I mean, honestly, like
Stanton's got to go in there.
D-Train.
Dontrell's got to go in there. Pudge for playing there for 1 year. Does Pudge go in playing there for 1 year? I mean, he did.
I don't think so. 1 year. I don't think
So
so.
Conine threw out the first pitch, and guess who caught for him?
His son.
No,
Charles Johnson. Nice move,
way.
Charles Johnson.
And I was fanboying over that.
CJ.
And you should have seen me with my wife. I was explaining he went to the U, then played for Miami, and I'm just like fanboying over it. It was really cool. It was really cool to see.
Damn, sounds like we missed something.
Yeah,
you did. And we had great seats too.
So were there a lot of 97 guys and 03 guys there that you know of?
There was, so Charles Johnson was there. I want to say Hernandez was there.
Moises Alou, Renteria, Chef.
There's only like 4 guys there. I can't remember who else was there, but there's only a couple.
Mike Lowell.
Nope.
Oh.
No. Charles Johnson, Levon, and 1 or 2 others, but I can't remember who they were.
They got to be more than 97 guys because Conine got traded back in 03, right at that sort of waiver deadline.
Yeah.
But 97 was really his team. Leiter, Kevin Brown.
It was special.
Rob Nen, all those guys. Fun fact. Did you know this? Well, I was looking at Scott Brosius info and on 1998. Do you know who played on the New York Yankees for, I believe it was 15. It was either 15 games or 15 at bats. I may have pulled it up here, but I never knew this on the 1998 Yankees, or maybe I knew it and I forgot it. Mike Lowell.
Really?
Yeah, Mike Lowell was on the Yankees.
He played for the Yankees.
Yes, the Junkies in the 1998 their monster 114. Was it 114? 114 win season in World Series.
I heard he wore a golden palm.
Golden, yeah, you're all over that, huh?
I mean, it's intriguing. I can't wait to ask Scott about this.
So what else are you doing on the trip down here now? And first, what else are you doing on the trip down?
So we came down, so we don't have too much going on. So I'm visiting some family. Gonna go see my dad tomorrow. I don't see him too often anymore. On Thursday, we head down to Key West.
Beautiful.
Till Sunday.
Where are you staying?
We got a little Airbnb spot. It's about 2 blocks off of Duval. So we can go party on Duval and stumble home at night. No problem. That's what Key West is for.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Steven, do me a favor. Can you pull up on, the old Bleacher Brother channel, whatever it is, Bleacher Brother videos or whatever? Look for our spring training tour at the Tampa Rays, if you can find that for me, okay?
Yeah, a little fun.
And then you're just gonna have to screen share it. All right, buddy, if you can do that.
My next question, since you're not on camera right now, you gave us the bobblehead to show, but I think you're wearing an amazing shirt as well.
They were selling T-shirts, Marlin Legends, Hall of Fame. It's Conine and it's pinstripe. It's got the number 19 on it. Myself and my cousin James got matching shirts. If Junior was there, he would have got a shirt as well.
So can I ask you, can you take the shirt off so we can show it on camera?
Yeah, no, keep the shirt on. Keep the shirt on, and we'll take a picture of Mike and we'll post it to our We'll post it to our IG afterwards. Are you still rooting for the Marlins now that you live up in Philly?
Yes.
Are you close to Philly or are you closer to Pittsburgh?
So I was close to Philly, and we just moved. We're like central, like in between.
Okay.
I'm closer to Elmira, New York, to be honest with you. I'm close to the border of New York.
What city do you live in?
Mansfield.
Okay.
It's Williamsport, where they do the Little League
World Series. Yeah.
About half hour, 40 minutes away from that.
Are you like
That's awesome.
Tawanda or White Sox?
Tawanda,
He was married to her in the past.
Tawanda? Yeah, he was. So was Charlotte Sheen.
I've heard of Tawanda. Tawanda's around there somewhere, yeah.
That's where my parents live.
Okay.
I've been there once. It's like Walnut Grove.
You need to be a better kid, AJ.
No, they need to be better parents, maybe. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But yeah, maybe I need to be a better kid.
Oh,
too. We'll
shit.
see.
Look what we got.
We'll see. All right. Yeah, Steven, let it rip. So Mike Nelson was one of the original Bleacher brothers from back in the day. And again, Steven, let it rip.
Mike here from Bleacher Brothers here at Charlotte Sports Park, home of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Spring training.
Devil Rays back
check out the Rays versus the Phillies today. A rematch of the World Series. Should be a good game.
The Rays are up right now, 4-0.
Game sold out, standing room only.
Field.
So we're going to check it out. We'll give you updates throughout the game.
We've come a long way since this. Yeah, the video's all copy, and it's probably like 10 minutes long. I don't know if we can make it through the whole thing.
Looks good.
Can I control the or do you have to do it, Steve? Let me see. You got to do it. Skip it up a little bit, buddy. Skip it up a little bit more. Here we go. All right, leave it here for a minute. What do we got?
Should be a hot dog review on there somewhere.
There is a hot dog review on here, and then there's also a. All right, let it go right there, Steven. Let it go right there, right there. Hot dog expert. How many hot dogs did you eat that spring training?
Oh, so many.
Now they call them quizzes.
You right?
And you were the sausage king that spring training. You might still be the sausage king, but we'll leave that one alone. Look at the editing. Look at the production on this guy. You can't hear him over the music. And
He's claiming to be a Marlins fan, but he's wearing a Tampa hat.
yeah, remember you were a Longo guy, weren't you?
I was. I loved that interview. It was really good. I was
Go back a little tiny bit. Right there, guy. Go. Well, no, I want you back. Right there. Just let it go. Just let it play. Well, we'll talk over it until we get to the spot. How many spring trainings did you do that year with us? Do you remember?
No, we were all over.
But if we were on the West Coast, we must have done. Did we do the? We did the Twins.
Did the Twins? Yep. We did the Rays.
Baltimore? No, I did Baltimore. No, Baltimore wasn't there. There was the Reds. We did the Reds with you, June.
Yeah, that was before they went to
Arizona.
Did I do Blue Jays with you, or was that? With
No,
Jay?
that was with Jay. Oh, that's
Jay.
a great video. The Yankee likes video. That's a real good one.
The legendary.
Yeah.
Yankee
But I did.
Where the guy got hit in the face with the ball.
Yes, he got hit so hard. He had an
Hey,
implant.
hey, Gary.
Best steak sandwiches you can ever get. They're not quite Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, no cheese whiz. It's real cheese.
This guy. Gary was a prisoner on work release there, but they keep him in the cages still during the games.
Oh, I thought he was at the zoo.
No. They did have. I'll tell you this from that year at spring training. This was my favorite stadium of all the ones that we went to. And the Pirates one was really cool too, but this one was
Honestly, it was mine too.
The Pirates?
No, the stadium you guys are talking about. That was the wraparound outfield, right?
Yeah, they had the grass out there. You can go out there and catch foul balls and home runs, right?
Where are you talking about? This place?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a boardwalk, like it went all the way around. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and you were there.
That's where I got the shields. I was watching them warm up because they warmed up right behind.
Look at this, Mike Nelson, man-child, right there.
Look how young he looks. What's up with the old school Bluetooth?
You see, that's the thing is that we were doing this before anybody else was. I mean, not at a high level, obviously, but we were doing it.
Attempting.
No, we did it. Just not. But this was a high level in 2009.
Yes.
We were doing this with. There were no cell phone cameras. Then we were doing this with them little flip videos.
Yep.
And now look at him.
And that looks like a minor league field with our camera.
It is a minor league field. It looks exactly like...
No, but I'm saying like minor league baseball where it's 200 feet to the wall. Where I used to hit him out. when I was a kid.
You mean Little League?
There he is. There's Mike
that's what I meant.
smoking. Got to smoke outside the stadium.
Yeah.
Now Mike's in jail.
All right, Steven, you can kill it. You can kill it, buddy.
Yeah, that was great. That was great to bring back old memories.
Yeah.
I had a
flashbacks.
blast on that trip. I remember we had a really good time.
We did every single.
No.
We did. We did.
No,
every
I'm saying
stadium.
I'm saying I was gonna say no, man. Yeah, we had a blast. Covering spring training was amazing for me. Just to visit the different fields, get a perspective that those hometown crowds can't really feel, and you can see it live. It's amazing.
You're so close to the action. And
Yes.
it's kind of, and that's what I love about soccer now is when you go to a professional soccer game, you're like right there on the pitch. They call it a pitch. You're right there on the field, 2 feet away from Messi. It's crazy. But yeah, spring. We tried to do another spring training thing 2 years ago. It was mostly me, Chef Tom, and then the drunken dad did some of it. The only stadium we missed was the Pirates one. So we passed your old video off as that you were there, you stepped in, but then they had changed the name of the stadium and all, but it was still a good video. But the Atlanta Braves now, and for next year, obviously spring training's over. The Atlanta Braves have a monster, beautiful complex on the West Coast, somewhere in between like Sarasota and Fort Myers. But it's a multiple deck spring training stadium. It's very, very, very nice.
You ever think about going out to Arizona?
Yeah. We've got guys in Arizona.
Yeah.
We've got guys out there. I've been to Arizona twice. I went to a Phillies, Diamondbacks, 2 of them when they were in the NLCS against each other. Love Phoenix. Absolutely love it. So yeah, we would like to do that. You signing up for next year? You want to volunteer for that?
Man, I'd go to Phoenix. I partied there when I was in the military. I'd go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Now, does that explain the beard because you spent so many years in the Army and you had to be clean shaven? Like a Yankee, you had to be clean shaven, and now
once I left the military, I said I never want to shave again. And I did shave a couple times when I had my children,
but not your beard.
Yeah, because they loved when I was holding them to just grab a hold and yank out patches of hair. So I had to shave a few times, but then after that, I just let it grow.
Now,
Wife loves it.
Do you drive down here when you come down, or
we did drive? Yeah.
Okay, because you have to be on the no-fly list with a beard like that, right? I mean, I can't imagine them letting you on a plane anywhere.
They do a double take.
Yeah, for sure. I remember seeing you from a distance on social, and I'm like, what's he got going on over there, man?
It's good that we don't have him on camera because Uncle Rico would be jealous.
Uncle Rico would be jealous. Uncle Rico is trying to grow a beard like that. So what do you follow? Do you follow all sports right now? Or are you following just baseball? What are you following?
Baseball, football, mostly. I get into basketball a little bit here and there. Okay. Basketball used to be a big sport for me, and I just haven't. I stopped watching it for a while, and in the '90s, I loved basketball. The old Orlando Magic team.
Yeah. But favorite player
all time
from the '90s?
Oh, Shaq. Okay. Shaq and Penny.
Penny or Lil Penny?
Oh, both.
Yeah. Okay. How do you not like
Lil
Penny,
one
right?
Without the other, right?
Right.
The A's open up tonight in West Sacramento. I mean, we're going to talk this about Dave, but so here's a picture of their ballpark. Now the pictures work tonight. Now we get the pictures working, but we got no freaking audio for sounds. So this is the minor league stadium that they're sharing with the Sacramento River Cats, which I'm not sure what level of minor league baseball they play, the Sacramento River Cats. But according to everything that I researched, as of yesterday, there were 0 signs at this stadium because the River Cats played there all weekend. 0 signs of any gold, any green, anything that said that there's a major league team coming to play here for the next 3 years. In the team store, no A's gear at all. There's a couple, let me rephrase it. There's a couple of old leftover Oakland A's jerseys.
Okay.
But the A's are dropping the name Oakland. They just want to be known as the Athletic or the A's right now. How embarrassed do you have to be if you're Major League Baseball right now, where you have 2 teams that are playing in minor league stadiums?
Honestly, it makes no sense. And I'm truly disappointed that the A's don't even have no merch. Like, what is going on?
I mean, it's an embarrassment to MLB, but what about the fans? Like, how
The
bad do they
disrespect.
feel, right?
So the stadium holds 13,000 people, and it's not even in. All right, so they play the River Cats play in the AAA Pacific Coast League, according to Joe Q. The stadium holds 13,000. The question is, do they fill this up? And it's not in Sac, it's in West Sac, which is, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes away. But 10, 15 minutes away in California is 2 a.m., 10, 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
10 p.m., 10 a.m., 10 minutes away. 2 a.m. Let me get this straight. 2 a.m., 10 minutes away. All right. 10.
I'm still confused right now.
In the middle of the night, you can get anywhere in Los Angeles in 20 minutes. If you go during the day, it takes you hours to get there. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So with the Sacramento A's, and you know what? Who better to talk about this instead of us going on and with all the audio and technical issues that we have tonight? At least we have a professional. Not that Dave wasn't a professional. We did sound check Dave and everything was good ahead of time. We've got the 1998 World Series MVP. He is a 98, 99, 98, 99, 2000, a three-time World Series winner, if I get that right. Yeah.
But I think
three-time World Series winner.
I think one matters more.
I don't know. That's we're going to ask him that because we did ask. We have asked other people, and which one is the best and which one is not. But let's welcome to the show, and let's get this Oakland A's thing off of here. The A's. Scott Brosius. Scott, thank you for joining us tonight.
Good to be on. How are you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. So how does it? Let me start with the A's because you came up with Oakland. And, you hit a home run in your very first game playing with the Oakland A's. And now this team ditching town and playing in this minor league park in Sacramento and heading to Vegas. I mean, how does that take a little piece out of you that the team that you started with is not there anymore?
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, honestly, it really is too bad to see the whole thing, how it all played out. The ballpark was aging, when I played there, and that was a while ago. And so the fact that they weren't all these years, weren't able to get something done with this park and have a better place, better venue. That has come to this. It's really unfortunate. I think, when you think of the A's, you think of the Bay Area. And to see it head out of town, takes a little piece from you for sure.
What was it like being involved in the community in Oakland? Because they've lost, and from a guy that's 3,000 miles away, I look and I say, oh, old rundown stadium. No one ever shows up. The team has a history of winning. I mean, when you go all the way back to the early 70s or late 60s with Reggie and then those guys, and then again with McGuire and Canseco and Ricky, and then, with guys like you. But it seems like you had this old dilapidated stadium. The Raiders leave town. The Golden State Warriors leave town. Mm-hmm. And now the A's leave town. I mean, did these fans not care? Do they care? Are they upset? Do you have like a beat, I guess, or a pulse on what the fan base is like there?
Is it ownership? That's another thing, too.
Yeah, I think that was really one of the biggest changes that happened. When I came up, I came up right, 91 was my first year. And so that was right on the heels of 3 straight World Series appearances in a row, for Oakland. The ownership at the time was very committed to winning. The ballpark itself was even different. It was a prettier ballpark back then. It was prior to the Raiders leaving and then coming back. Part of them coming back was to build the monstrosity there in center field, and it really took it away. It moved it away from a baseball ballpark to the A's. You kind of felt like you were playing in a football stadium. You were playing in somebody else's stadium, and then you see the Raiders leave again. You see Golden State leave, and just the area itself of the ballpark wasn't the greatest area, not the easiest to get to that part of town, and so it just all of it. The new ownership came in, wasn't willing, obviously, for a number of years to spend the money, maybe to put a championship team out there. Just kind of a collection of all that.
So does it make you sad at all, or are you just so far removed at this point that it sort of
No, it
irrelevant
does
to
make
you?
me sad. I mean, that's, one of my best memories, obviously, as a player is your debut and your first years in the league. And Oakland for me was the big leagues. That was what I strove to get to from the time I was drafted. And so to kind of lose that and realize nobody's, it's one thing to, stadiums get updated, stadiums, get built, but the fact that the town that you played in is not even a major league city anymore. It's sad, really is sad.
Is it somewhat embarrassing for Major League Baseball to have two teams right now playing in minor league stadiums?
Well, I think one is I think not getting something done with the A's sooner that it came to this, that there had to be a way, either make a decision they're going to stay or they're not. But to come to this point now to where we're going to be in a minor league park for a few years, I think that piece is an embarrassment. The Tampa piece is a whole different situation. Hurricane blew in and tore apart a stadium. There's not a whole lot you can do to keep that from happening. And so they're doing the best they can. But yeah, it doesn't feel great when you see two major league teams playing in minor league stadiums this year.
And then they talk about expansion. Okay, Jim, what were you going to ask?
No, I do have a few questions, but so may or may not be true. I always ask fans questions before somebody comes on like yourself, and fans were saying it may or may not be true that you were responsible for the golden what do they call it, thong. But I said I don't believe so. I think that was after him. But they want to know what was your superstitious thing.
Do you know what he's talking about with the golden thong?
I don't. So obviously I'm not responsible for that. So
okay.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
That
I
was
don't know
the
anything
Jeter
about
and
that.
Giambi thing. They were when they were in a slump, they'd wear a golden thong, and like the first time Jeter wore a golden thong, he hit a home run. So I'm curious, what was your superstitious?
Probably my biggest superstition, and I tried to eliminate them because when I first started playing professional ball coming out of college, I had too many. And it was one thing if you're only playing a couple days a week and you can kind of deal with it. But I started to get worn out by all these. And so I'm like, okay, enough is enough. But probably the one superstition I had was, and especially on the road, but even at home, but go to a restaurant, eat a meal, have a good game. Guess what you're doing the next day? You're going right back there. You're having the same meal. What time did I eat? Okay, that was 1:30. I'm eating at 1:30. You almost try to duplicate that day. And so even that became kind of a little tiresome. But yeah, that was definitely one. I had a tendency to duplicate a meal.
I love it.
All right. So I grew up a Yankee fan. And since then, I've become more of a baseball fan than a specific team fan because players move around so much and you get attached to these players. So I try to follow players. So I guess, ask me who I'm rooting for after the World Series, and I'll let you know who I was rooting for. It might be the Dodgers, might be the Yankees, who knows. But a couple of questions I had. You got off to a good start. And in 96, you hit 304, 22 home runs. Really good year. In 97, you finished statistically at the bottom of all of Major League Baseball. But then you were traded to the Yankees for Kenny Rogers, and you bounced back with a 300, 19, and 98. How do you deal with as a professional athlete? How do you deal with, all right, I did this, and now like something is like the wheels are falling off. How do you get the wheels back together? How do you sit down in the offseason and analyze, all right, what happens? What do I need to do? Was it just a change of scenery that snapped you out of it? How does someone like you go through something like that and then come out of it?
Yeah, 97 was brutal. Tough year coming off of a good year the year before. And 97 is one of those years where if anything could go wrong, it did go wrong. Tried, kind of played through some injury that year, had a knee that was bothering me kind of from spring training on as the year progressed. Finally ended up having a surgery on it, had the point where I had to have a surgery on it in August. rush back from it, trying to salvage a year because I hadn't had a good year. So I kind of rushed back trying to salvage it. Was playing literally like 3 weeks to the day after I had my surgery, and came back too soon. In all honesty, was the knee wasn't ready, my swing wasn't ready, all those things, and so struggled really through the rest of that year. And so, and so outside of that, though, I think there were times where obviously I wasn't hitting well, and I was pressing, and I was trying to figure it out, and really just kind of got away in a lot of ways from what I had done in the past to make me successful. I think I was trying too many things, listening to too many voices, and really kind of pressed. And so, yeah, when a season like that is done, you have to do some soul searching, and you have to try to understand what happened, what you went through, why that happened. And so, yeah, you make adjustments. And I think one of the biggest things that I learned through that is just you have to trust yourself. You have to trust what you're doing. You have to trust the process, and you have to get back to doing the things that made you successful. So I think that was certainly a part of it. There was a lot of uncertainty going into that off season. When you have that kind of a year, you're like, man, am I going to have a job next year? What's this going to look like? Well, not only did I have a job, but I got traded to the Yankees. So, for me personally, that was like just a shot of adrenaline to my career. Was I just went from a last place team, no chance of making, the playoffs, to all of a sudden a first place team with again, a team that could go to the World Series. So for me, yeah, it was like a huge lift and just a great fresh start.
Let me ask you. So let me rattle off. I'm gonna sound a little bit like Lucha or June, but let me rattle off right on these 98 Yankees. All right, Jeter, Girardi, Posada, O'Neill, Strawberry. I want to ask you what Strawberry was like, because he seemed like at that point of his career such a good guy, and I just remember Straw always hitting a home run whenever a home run was needed. But Mike Lowell, I told Mike Lowell, little known that Mike Lowell must have played a couple of games that year. Mariano Rivera, David Wells, Andy Pettit, David Cohn, El Duque, Tino Martinez, Bernie Williams, Chili Davis, Tim
Chili
Raines.
Davis.
I mean, you talk about like who's who of, oh my God, from back in the day.
Jeez.
What was it like playing on that team?
It's so funny when I was with Oakland, and New York would make that trade. They would get whoever it might have been. You're like, geez, here we go again. They just got this guy. Well, then I get traded to New York, and it completely flips the script, because right after I was traded, then they traded for Chuck Knobloch, and I was like, no way, we just got Nobby all. We just got Chuck too. So I mean, it was an all-star type lineup, no question about it. You go around the infield, you go around the outfield, or starting pitching or relief pitching. It was a pretty complete team.
Who's the alpha in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
That was a great thing about that team, is there was no alpha. I mean, there were some great leaders. David Cohn for sure was a guy, people listened. He had a voice in there, but a lot of guys did. There was, a guy like Bernie Williams, quiet, soft-spoken, but great leader in the clubhouse. Jeter was a young player in 98, but had a presence about him you knew even at the time. I mean, this guy was a stand-up guy, team player, accountable, and just go down the list, Andy Pettit, Paul O'Neill, right? All those guys you listed, Joe Girardi, high character guys. And that was the cool thing about this team, is you'd go to dinner after a game and you'd be with 8 guys, but it might be a different combination of guys every night. There was no cliques. It was truly a group of guys that all got together real well.
Did David Cohn buy you a car or a watch or anything? Because a good trivia question is, who caught the final out of David Cohn's perfect game?
Yeah, no, that was pretty cool stuff. I mean, you think about some of the things, the 3 World Series. I mean, that in itself is enough. Like, what else do you need? You won 3 in a row. You went to 4 straight. But now let's just throw in 2 perfect games for good measure. I mean, you got David Wells and 1 year, then David Cohn the next. And so yeah, we got a little bit of hardware from those. We got a nice ring from Wellesley, and Coney gave us all a really nice watch. So yeah, we took home a couple extra nice keepsakes.
Who had the coolest nickname in the dugout those years?
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know. It's funny. This team was pretty was pretty businesslike. You know what I mean? I mean, we had fun and stuff like that, but we were pretty businesslike in the dugout and things like that. So it was, there was nobody that that I remember. Now, like I said, I'm a little removed from this thing, but nobody that I really remember that we poked fun at or had some kind of a name. You know what I mean? That it was just everybody was who they were, and yeah, nobody that kind of jumped out to me like that.
The reason I ask is because you called him Coney, and I've never so
well,
you
you're not
call
a Yankee
these guys,
fan. That's
you call these guys different names than what we call them.
El Duque. He's got El Duque. That's the coolest name. El Duque. That's the coolest nickname.
Yeah, El Duque. I mean, what a again, you talk about another guy you add to that mix, right? And it just the team was a deep team, and El Duque came in, middle of the season or early-ish middle of the season, stepped in and became a guy right away. So you had El Duque, you had Coney, Nobby, for Chuck Knobloch. So I think I just have a tendency to shorten everybody's names because I don't want to say the whole thing.
Sounds cool to me.
So you guys blew through 98, 114 wins. You get to the postseason, you guys just make easy work out of Texas. Was Cleveland the series that you guys were really focused on because Cleveland knocked the Yankees out the prior year in 97? Cleveland was I don't remember who it was. Might have been Manny hit a home run off of Mariano, and Cleveland went on to the World Series, and the Yankees went home when.
Yeah.
So was there a little bit of extra oomph?
There was. I think it was Alomar that hit that home run, and there was no question about it. It was from the first day of spring training. Of course, I wasn't there in '97, but from the first day of spring training on, the conversation was, we're getting back to this World Series. We're getting back. They'd won it in '96. Cleveland bumped them in '97, and so '98. Here's Cleveland again, and Cleveland was there for a reason. I mean, they were a really good team, and they were a team that for those set of years was a championship caliber team. And so no question that second round, we knew what we were up against. We knew that they were a great team, and we ended up in a really tight series with them.
They were the only team that beat you in that postseason. You won the series 4-2, swept obviously San Diego, and then swept Texas. How does it feel on a team of stars and names like this that just go down in history to be the MVP of the World Series that year?
Yeah, no, that's funny. That was a cool thing. I mean, no question about it. I mean, being named the MVP was really special. But it was almost kind of, in all honesty, it was kind of beside the point, if that makes any sense. Like, winning the World Series for me was what it was all about. I mean, it was truly the thing that from the time I was a kid in the backyard playing wiffle ball, that's what we did. That's what we talked about, winning the World Series. And so, I remember a reporter asking me that specifically after the game, like, did you ever dream of this? And I said, absolutely. I said, every day, like as a kid, so I'm truly living the dream. And so winning the World Series, that dog pile was, for me, was the moment. Being named the MVP was just kind of icing on the cake. But I mean, that was a team, you could have picked a bunch of guys. I mean, everybody did their job during that series.
All right. I'm going to answer for Scott because you're politically correct, and that's awesome. But I'm going to go ahead and say, it feels amazing. Give yourself the credit, sir.
Yeah.
No, it does. I mean, it's a cool thing. I mean, it doesn't happen to many people, right? And there's only been so many World Series, and there's only one named. And so to be a part of a short list and to share that list with some of the names that are on there, it is kind of a pinch yourself kind of a moment. And so it was a cool thing. I don't want to say that that's not the case, but it was to me, it was all about the dog pile and celebrating with the guys and just winning that series.
And you guys rattled off 3 in a row, and I'm going to come back to a question in a minute and ask you which one was the best. But for me as a fan, the most exciting World Series I've ever seen in my life was the one that we lost in 2001. Mm-hmm. And just because of the whole, I mean, and I got a couple of clips of things here that I want to show you of that World Series, and it starts out here. First pitch. I mean,
for tonight's ceremonial first pitch, and please welcome
you're feeling in the stadium, what we're feeling at home.
Probably more so. There was an electricity in the stadium, not just for the World Series, but even just building leading up through the playoffs. Of course, 2001, we know that's 9/11. And so everything it was a very emotional time in that city. And this right here, I still get, now I'm watching this right now, and I still get goosebumps. I mean, for him to stand up like that, comes out there, thumb in the air, and then throws a strike. I mean, just incredible stuff right there. And I'm telling you, the stadium, it was, I don't know how else to say it. It was more charged up than I've ever seen a Yankee Stadium. And I don't know how that's possible, because there's been some really loud, charged up crowds, but this was just another level. So truly special night.
That gives me goosebumps every time I watch it.
Me
so
too.
I could imagine being there. And then so the series starts and you guys go down, and I wrote down just, I had to look some of it. I didn't. You guys got beat pretty handily in the first two games.
Mm-hmm.
And Pettit, who was known as a big postseason game pitcher, he got hit around, and you guys came home, and it was a tight series, but it was night after night after night. I got to.
The Yankees are now 1 for 24 with runners in scoring position in this World Series.
Why was he pitching game after game after game? And I believe that this is game 4 right here where he hit the home run. Is that correct, or is this game 3?
This would have been game 5. I think game 4 was Tino's. And then this one was game 5. And
ninth, 2 out.
Yeah, 2 nights in a row. And I'm going around the bases, and truly, like, honest to goodness, what's going through my head is like, no way did that just happen again. Like, no way. 2 nights in a row. And that's what I kept just saying to myself, like, no way. So, it's really funny. I think back to that series, and we didn't win. There were 3 special nights in the Bronx for sure. Games 3, 4, and 5 all come from behind, all really special games. But I don't have that warm, fuzzy feeling about that series, because we got walked off in the bottom of the 9th in game 7. And that's the piece that still kind of sits with you, special games, but not the one that I look back on with the fondest, memories.
But from a player standpoint, like, you don't see it, but when we watched it as fans, like, you couldn't imagine how we felt, just so you know that, as a player, you might not appreciate it as much, but as fans, it was like, wow.
I think, it's funny going through the season after 9/11, and, when you're in New York, especially, and experience what New York was going through, what the country is going through, as players, we ask the questions, like, what are we doing? Like, why are we even thinking about playing again? What's, in the scope of things, baseball's not very important, but we came to realize, especially as we started playing again, just how important it was to be playing as part of just the healing process, as part of just, us as a country and as people just moving forward, saying we're not stopping, we're going to keep doing what we do. And for New Yorkers, especially, for 3 hours a day to kind of maybe take your mind off of all the other stuff going around and just enjoy baseball. We recognized once we got going that this was important, what we were doing. And if there was a year that people were actually pulling for the Yankees, that might have been the year. We didn't have as many haters on the road that we had. And so, you just learn that it's not necessarily a fair game, because if there was a year that all the magic should have happened and we should have won it, that would have been the year, but it just didn't happen that way.
Those 3 games at the stadium, though, were the most magical 3 nights in a row. That's where Mr. November was born, because I believe after you tied the game, it went past midnight, and then Jeter hit a walk-off home run. It was the same, and then
that's right.
And then you go back, and even in game 7, we got Mo coming in the 9th. I mean, we've already checked the boxes, like, yes, corner. So I don't know that it was devastating from the fans' perspective, more as like unbelievable. Like, wait, did that just happen?
Yeah, and I think that's how we felt too. Honestly, walking off the field, it was more of shock. like like you said, you got the greatest closer, in the game, and he just buzzed through the 8th inning without any issues, and you think you kind of, you're like, okay, 3 more outs, and we're celebrating again, and it just didn't happen, and so I think that, no question, probably what the fans felt. We felt the same thing, a little bit of disbelief, a little bit of shock, like that. You just don't see it coming, and yeah, hard to process.
How do you feel about the torpedo bet?
Yeah, that's the talk, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny because with my job now, I didn't get to see a ton of the games over the weekend and stuff like that. But I saw some of opening day, and the truth is, I didn't even notice them just from watching on TV. I hadn't heard about them. I didn't even notice it. But then the second day, or Saturday's game, of course, when it just all went ballistic out there, they were the talk of the town. And so I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I think it's an genius if it matters for somebody to come up with a bat that fits a guy's swing and puts the barrel in the right place. There's everybody's been talking about it. You can have any shape of bat that you want, and guys already do. I mean, some guys have skinny bats, some guys have fat bats. Everybody's barrel's a little bit different, so this is just another version of it. So it'll be interesting to see in the long haul if obviously these 4 or 5 guys that are using it are kind of the early adopters right now. So it'll be interesting to see how many more guys give this a shot.
9 home runs in the game
crazy
on Saturday. That was, it was a record for the Yankees.
Yeah, craziest start. I mean, I was actually home for the first inning, and I'm with my son, and he's a huge fan, obviously, and you just start laughing. One pitch, there's a home run. Second pitch, there's a home run. Third pitch, and Judge's, I don't know that it's even landed yet. He hit it, and the camera couldn't even follow it, and so it was just like an incredible start, and then another, and so yeah, obviously pretty amazing day at the stadium, and 9 home runs. These guys are, the first 3 games they've like literally done things that have never been done before.
Do you follow MLB a lot? Are you locked into what's going on in MLB right now?
I'd say loosely. I mean, I follow the game. I love the game. I'm kind of busy these days, so I don't necessarily have the time to really sit in front of games and watch games. So I follow it. I certainly follow the Yankees. I follow, all the big stories and try to keep on top of what's going on. But I truly don't watch a ton of baseball throughout the week.
And can we ask you what you're up to now? Because most guys that we've spoken to that are retired, like we have Jeff Conine the other night, he was on a golf course.
Yeah.
And then we have, repeatedly, they're basically all on the golf course. You look like you're in an office right now.
I'm in my office. So I'm at Linfield University. This is the Division III school. This is where I played. So back from 85 to 87, it was an NAIA school at the time, but now it's a Division III school. And so this is kind of my third circle here at Linfield. Came here as a player, signed after my junior year. When I was done playing, I came back to coach here. And so I was the head coach here for 8 years. And now this is my third circle back as the athletic director. And so I just started, I'm about a year into my third term here on campus. So in May, it'll be a year. So athletic director now. So keeps me fairly busy.
And you're in the Linfield Hall of Fame too, correct?
I am. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your office that you're in now?
It is, yeah.
Do you keep any memorabilia in the office?
Yeah, we want to see it.
This is what we do, because we're a sports network that was founded. None of us are journalists, but we were fans, and now we've turned into this where we're getting tens of thousands of people tuning in every night. And somehow we stumbled across this during Super Bowl week coverage where we asked someone, what do you got? What piece of memorabilia? He gave us a tour of his entire man cave. But is there anything? What's your favorite piece of memorabilia? Or do you keep anything there in the office? Or
I don't keep it. I don't keep anything from my playing days in the office. More of the coaching stuff, just the Linfield things. And so obviously, probably my favorite thing, and you can kind of see it behind me. It's hard to see, but this picture right here in 2013. one of the teams I coach, we won the national championship here. So that's our national championship team right there. So we're pretty proud of that, obviously. So that's it. I mean, a couple other things. There are smaller things on the shelf, but most everything in here is Linfield related.
I was hoping to see what's the paper in New York? What do they call that?
The New York Post.
The New York Post. I was hoping to see your 1998 MVP.
The cover of the New York Post.
Something like that. But as a coach, correct answer, sir.
Yeah. At home, we have an office at home, and some of those, I have a couple of those pictures on the wall. Probably my favorite thing is I have a huge photo. All the guys have signed it, and it's just us kind of dogpiling there in San Diego. And Beautiful. So really, really big, kind of, takes up a good chunk of a wall there. That's probably my favorite piece in there. Then I keep the MVP trophy, the Gold Glove, a couple of those things I keep in the office as well.
Got to send them to us.
Send them to us. We'll hold them here for you. Last question. Which one was the best? 98, 99, or 2000? I mean, 2000 was the Mets, so that doesn't even really count, right? Because they're the Mets, but what was the best one?
It's going to sound cliche. They're all special. I think if I have to say which one is the best, I think 98, just because it's, for me, the first championship. I mean, all those things, like I said before, kind of that dream come true moment, winning a World Series. So no question about that one. But I have to tell you, when you're in the middle of it, you realize how hard it is too. And so winning a second one, that feels really special, to do it 2 times in a row, and then to turn around and do it a third time in a row. Each of them have their own special meaning, because it does really, I believe it gets harder and harder. You're playing more games, you're playing deeper into the quote off season for some of the guys. And so when you go to the World Series, spring training is there like a snap. You've played another month, and then next thing you know, you're home, it's Christmas, it's New Year's, and you're back at spring training. And just the ability to kind of just get mentally, physically ready to go again for each year. Each one felt more special. And I think the farther I'm separated from, when you're in the middle of it, you're just driving for another. You're just driving for another. And so you don't really think about it too much. But having some separation now, being 20 years removed from all this, it feels more special. It was a hard thing to do, to go and in the years that I was there, to be at the World Series 4 years in a row and to win 3 of them, pretty special.
And no one's even repeated since then, right? I don't think anybody.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, with the with more layers of playoffs now. I mean, you're playing the best in the game. Every round, and so upsets happen, and it's a difficult thing to do. And so if you look back at our runs, and we won a lot of games, and we had a lot of we'd go through, and even the rounds that we swept, they were close games. And that's the nature of playoff baseball. You're not necessarily going to blow teams out. You have to find ways to win close games, and I felt like that's kind of who we are. We pitched it really well, but we were a really good situational hitting team too. We didn't necessarily just rely on home runs. We did other things. We could steal bases, hit and run. We had a lot of arrows in the quiver, and I think you need to have that. You can't be one dimensional. And so I think that's kind of what that team had different abilities to score and find ways to win those close games.
Mr. Brosius, I'm going to do it one tack-on question. So did you cross paths? I think you did in New York, maybe in Oakland, with Jose Canseco at all?
Oh yeah. I played with Jose at the start, and then he'd gotten traded over, and I don't know if it's 2000. I think it might have been where he came to New York. I might get my years mixed up, but played with him a couple different times.
We have him on Thursday night. What are we in for? He's a character. Yes.
No, he is. Jose, number one, I think probably the most talented player I've been around. I mean, in terms of early in his career, he could do it all. I mean, he could do it all. In Oakland, we just kind of watch him, and he could run. I mean, he could throw. I mean, he could really throw. I mean, right field arm, a legit right field arm. He hit for power, he hit for average. He literally did it all. And so really one of the most talented players I've ever been around. And yeah, he's a character you'll you'll hear his mind and stuff like that. But for me as a young guy, it's funny. I remember, and I don't want to keep you guys too long here, but my favorite Canseco story, and there's no way he'd remember this, but really early when I first got called up, I remember talking to my dad and saying, man, this is like amazing. I know I'm not playing every day, but I'm going to watch like 4 or 5 Hall of Famers and just see how they go about their business. And so we're playing a Sunday game. I'm not playing. So we're at home. And so it's a day game, so optional hitting. And so Jose doesn't hit that day. The game's at 1 o'clock. He comes rolling into the stadium about 11 or 11:30, something like that. And so he's DHing that day, and he hasn't come down to the field yet. So the top of the first inning has already happened. The bottom of the first inning has started. Ricky Henderson's leading off. And as Ricky's hitting, Jose's coming out of the tunnel, right out of the clubhouse. He's got a bat like this, and he's just stretching his helmet. He's all set. And Ricky makes an out, and Jose walks from the tunnel straight on the on-deck circle. And so now Dave Henderson is hitting. He makes an out, and Jose just does a couple swings, whatever, and walks up to the plate. First pitch, line drive off the right field wall for a double.
Wow.
And I just remember calling my dad. I'm like, I can't watch that. He's too good. I'm like, I can't do what he does. You know what I mean? He's so good. And so anyway, those type of things. I mean, just highly, highly talented. So yeah, I think you'll have an enjoyable interview with him.
Awesome. We had an enjoyable interview tonight, didn't we, June?
Absolutely, Scott. You're amazing. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us tonight. It was really an honor and a privilege, and hopefully at some point someday we can have you back on.
We got a lot of happy fans out there tonight.
Yeah,
sure. Sounds good. Great to talk to you guys. Appreciate being on. You guys take care.
We appreciate it. You too, Scott. Thank you so much.
Take care, Scott.
1998 World Series MVP.
The man.
Yeah,
he didn't give himself enough credit.
It just seems like a really, really, really good dude.
Oh.
Like a really good dude. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, there you go. I'm sorry. I was trying to turn mic on and I turned you off.
Yeah, no, it was a great interview, man. Like that's why we do this for people like Scott.
Oh, Mike, I got you on. Let's get Steven in here for a second. And there you go, buddy. Good morning. How are you?
Hi. Hey.
Why does it say AJ? Can't you make it say Steven?
No,
you can
I
make
can't.
It say Steven.
But here's what happens when I do put my name in. If you leave,
yeah,
you get my name as well.
Okay, so I'd rather call him Steven than UAJ.
That's why it does that. That's why.
Yeah. Well, this whole thing is breaking down tonight. We got no sound. We got no
kidding
anything.
me? Tonight was a great show. What are you talking about?
The show was fantastic.
The show was good. Everything else was a dumpster fire almost.
I thought it was a great
and
show.
I'm missing. And again, ignore. This is where Steven. This is where I need you to be on the chat. Because a lot of comments came in.
Yeah,
Honey Shirt Mike.
I got a text. Let's go ahead and break this out.
Yankees in 3. Age knew what you're saying, AJ. I believe that was about the Diamondbacks in those 3 games. What do you got there via the text? And then we'll find out what we learned, and then we'll get the heck out of here.
Is AJ wearing a robe or just got done with karate?
Yes. Yes, that is exactly what it is. I am Hugh Hefner and Bruce Lee all rolled into one tonight.
Well, before we do what we learned, check this out. Here's the A's press conference setup for today.
That is the A's press conference. Well, that is so that's the press room, huh?
Yes.
Is that or is that the media workroom?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like,
that is. Wow.
Yeah. I'm like,
they got that at Home Depot?
I know. That's I'm wondering. If someone put as a reply as a porta potty as the response.
Wow. Yeah, that is insane. So
it looks like some type of outhouse or like storage facility.
At a nice venue.
I mean,
most porta potties don't have glass doors.
What did we learn tonight, Steven?
I feel we learned a lot. You know, with how the game has changed from the 90s to today. Like Scott was saying, and he says we're going to be in for a treat with Jose Canseco on Thursday. So we're going to be prepared for a lot of stuff, and he's going to be what he's going to be. So we're going to be expecting the unexpected with Canseco. And also we noticed back then, our content, it was not that big, but we're growing each day.
Huge, Steven. It was
Joe,
amazing.
Joe Q said that outhouse looks like the future Bleacher Brothers souvenir shop. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Mike, what did we learn tonight, Mike? You got to sit in. Your video went dead, and we didn't have our normal rocking and rolling like we usually have. But
I learned being a fan and just being on the chat is great, but being in studio, man, this is
we got a nice setup here.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, I really like it. I do.
We do it big at Bleacher Brothers, baby.
I mean,
You
I
see
think
the
we need a
shirt?
few more Marlins pitchers around, but after that, it'd be perfect.
You can leave. You can feel free to leave. Call 9. Put him up there. Put him up there next to Jeter and Mr. Met.
But take off your shirt before you get out, because I want the shirt.
We got all kinds of guys. CC up there. We got Florida Owls or FAU Owls. We got slot machines. Oh, got Lenny Dykstra base. I got some Lenny Dykstra baseballs. If anybody wants to, we should auction these things off. Autographed by Lenny. And did I tell you how this happened with Lenny? Lenny had come to town, and Lenny's a handful. And then Chef Tom had picked him up in an airport, and he wasn't even here for us. And this started costing me money. So I went to Dick's Sporting Goods the day I was going to go to the hotel and meet Lenny, and I just grabbed that Phillies hat. I grabbed baseballs and walk into his hotel room. He's sitting on the bed. He still looks all strung out. And I threw this at him, and I threw all these baseball, like a bag. It's like 6, 7 baseballs and the hat. I said, sign this stuff for my kid. He goes, how many kids you guys? I said, don't matter. Start signing. And he signed them all off. And then my kid took her baseball into the local baseball card shop, Mike.
Yeah.
And she was all excited. And I don't know, she's 5, 6 years old and whatever. And she's like, how much is this worth? And the guy looked at it and goes, kid, that ball was worth more before the guy signed it. So anyway.
Love you, Lenny.
June, what'd you learn tonight?
Man, I learned that honestly, we don't have a bad night.
No, even when it was bad, the guests were. I'm bummed about Dave.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
bummed about Dave for
we
sure.
want
Because Dave is our favorite guy.
Yeah, Dave is the man. But at the end of the day, like no matter what goes wrong, technically, whatever it is, the show goes off. We give the fans what they want.
We did commercial free. Commercial free. We should charge extra for this. We got to put a tip jar
seriously.
up here, man. Commercial free tonight, no breaks. You know how hard that is?
I had to cut AJ off to go to break.
Yeah.
I needed a personal break.
I filled up two 2-liter soda bottles under the desk here. Yes, that's what that was.
I filled this up with water during our commercial freeness.
Raining outside. I learned that we can hold it together. So let me just give you a little peek on tomorrow night. All right. So tomorrow night.
Don't do it.
No, we got to do it. We got to tell them what it's not. Here's tomorrow night.
Oh my! That's the cherry on the sundae.
No look up. D Brown joins the show tomorrow night. Let me give you right here what we got coming up, and then we're gonna get the heck out of here. Tomorrow night, D Brown is joining us. Maybe Troy all week.
I want to.
Maybe we can get Dave in tomorrow.
I want to shout out a big D Brown fan for one of our fans. When he heard we had D Brown coming on tonight,
yeah,
the expression was crazy. Shout out D Adrian Bobo. D Brown's coming for you tonight. Tomorrow night. On
Wednesday night, we get the national champions in the house. It's Luch on Ice night. Tea time for bettors. Best online sports books we're going to cover. Troy. And a lot of stuff I can't tell you about, but you will not want to miss because it will be water cooler content the next day. You ever hear that water cooler content?
Yep.
That Seinfeld invented that. It's like, hey, everybody get around and say, did you see Seinfeld last night? They're going to be talking about what they're going to see here Wednesday night on Thursday. So FAU Hockey Club, and then and here's the best picture I could find for Canseco. You ready for this?
Yep.
Don't get turned on.
Try not to.
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
Thursday night, you got Troy wins. We got the Final Four, best bets, all of our picks. Troy wins, and then Jose Canseco is scheduled to be on with us. You're right there, buddy?
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right.
I'm not on camera no more.
All right. Yeah, and now you're back. So
I'm here.
We appreciate everybody. Look, I'll play our outro music. Watch the music start to work right now. So at least we know that we're getting out. We'll be back tomorrow night, 7:00. Also tomorrow, what is going on the channel tomorrow? Defo at 10 a.m. tomorrow with Lone Kruger. breaking down Florida and Auburn. And then Wednesday, you got Listella's in here too with, Listella's just back from the Elite Eight in the Sweet 16. So Wednesday, Ernie Irvin on NASCAR Lap by Lap with Garen. Rob's got Brian Baldinger. We dropped the show earlier this morning, too, from Florida Tennis Magazine with Mary Jo Fernandez interview. They just dropped another one on us. So everybody, we'll be back tomorrow night. Thanks for tuning in. And don't drink and drive and all that sort of stuff. And thank you, Scott Brosius. Thank you, Dave.